I used to think secrets could be buried forever. That if you hid them deep enough, behind polite smiles, a steady job, and a picture-perfect relationship, they would stay there, locked away, where no one could touch them. But the truth is, secrets have a way of clawing themselves out, usually at the worst possible time. My name is Daniel, 24 years old, an IT specialist at a mid-sized firm in Chicago. To anyone watching from the outside, I looked like your average young guy. Jeans, hoodies, long hours at a desk troubleshooting servers and answering emails that all blurred together. Boring maybe, but safe. What no one saw, the part of me I fought to keep hidden, was the thrill I got from slipping into a dress when I was alone. It wasn't supposed to mean anything at first. Just curiosity. A dare from myself. But the first time, I pulled one of Emma's old cocktail dresses from the back of our shared closet and felt the fabric hug my skin. Something inside me shifted. I told myself it was just a passing impulse. A strange experiment. But once turned into twice, twice turned into habit, and soon I was sneaking moments whenever I had the apartment to myself. Emma, my girlfriend of 3 years, never knew. Or, at least, I told myself she didn't. She was warm, ambitious, confident, the kind of woman who made plans months in advance and followed through. A marketing manager by day, an extrovert by nature, Emma was my opposite in many ways. She filled every room she entered with her energy, while I lingered in corners, always more comfortable in silence. She loved me for my steadiness, I think. And I loved her because she never doubted who she was. But her certainty made my secret feel heavier. What would she think if she knew her boyfriend sometimes stood in front of the mirror in her heels, experimenting with makeup tutorials he'd half memorized from YouTube? Would she laugh? Would she leave? Or worse, would she look at me with that quiet disappointment that says more than words ever could? So I hid it. Carefully. Desperately. My heart raced every time I slipped into stockings, every time I heard a car door outside and thought she might come home early. That mixture of fear and exhilaration kept me hooked. Our apartment was small but cozy. An open-plan kitchen and living room, 2 bedrooms, one of which doubled as my home office. I'd set up dual monitors there, wires snaking across the desk like vines, the faint hum of the PC tower my constant companion. From my chair, I could see the sliding glass door that opened onto the balcony, the city skyline beyond. It should have been peaceful. Instead, it felt like a stage, one wrong move, and the curtain would drop on the life I'd built. It all started with one photo. That night had been ordinary. Emma had gone out with friends, and I promised myself I'd just relax, order food, maybe play some games, nothing risky. But temptation doesn't ask permission. Before long, I was standing in front of the mirror again, wearing a sleek black dress that clung to me in ways that made me shiver. I'd gone further than usual, too. Eyeliner smudged just right, a layer of foundation smoothing out my face, a wig I'd bought online sitting snugly over my cropped hair. I remember turning my head from side to side, hardly recognizing the reflection. For a moment, I wasn't Daniel the IT guy. I was someone else. Someone braver, prettier, freer. That's when a thought hit me. What if I captured this? Just once. My phone was in my hand before I could stop myself. I snapped one photo. Just one. A keepsake of the night I dared to push further. I told myself I'd delete it in the morning, but I didn't. And that's how everything unraveled. Because weeks later, when I least expected it, that same photo appeared in my inbox, sent from an anonymous address. No words, just the picture. Me in the dress. My secret. Exposed. My blood ran cold as I stared at the screen. Someone knew. Someone had me. And in that instant, the safe little life I'd built with Emma cracked wide open. The email with the photo sat on my screen for what felt like hours. My cursor hovered over it, my heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my fingertips. I wanted to believe it was a cruel joke, some kind of spam that just happened to use my photo. But there was no denying it. That was me. The dress, the wig, the shaky confidence in my smile. A version of myself that wasn't supposed to exist outside the privacy of our apartment. Seconds stretched into minutes. I waited for another message, for instructions, for some clue. But none came. Just the picture. I deleted it, emptied the trash, even shut off the computer, but the image was burned into my mind. Whoever sent it, they knew. For days, nothing happened. I went to work, came home, ate dinner with Emma, pretended everything was fine. But my eyes kept darting to my phone, my inbox, every notification. It felt like living under a storm cloud, waiting for the lightning strike. It came on a Wednesday afternoon. Another email. This time, words. I know your secret. Do exactly as I say, or Emma sees this photo. My stomach dropped. I read the message 3 times, praying I'd misinterpreted. But the threat was clear. The instructions were simple at first. Harmless, almost. The sender wanted me to dress again, to put on the wig and heels, to take new pictures, better ones, they said. They gave me a deadline. Midnight. If I didn't deliver, Emma would get everything. I felt sick. My hands shook as I stared at the screen. Who was this? How had they found me? Did they live in our building? A coworker? A stranger hacking my accounts? Every possibility made my chest tighten. But fear is a strange motivator. By nightfall, I was standing in front of the closet again, staring at the row of dresses Emma never wore anymore. My pulse hammered in my ears. If I do this, maybe they'll stop. Just one more time. Just to protect Emma. That's what I told myself as I slid the fabric over my shoulders, the cool silk clinging to my skin. As I fastened the straps of her black heels, wobbling slightly, I caught my reflection. There she was again, the version of me I never admitted out loud. A stranger, and yet not. My fingers trembled as I adjusted the wig, smoothed the dress, applied a careful coat of lipstick. It should have felt humiliating. Instead, it felt intoxicating. Each layer of transformation buried Daniel and revealed someone else, someone daring, vulnerable, but undeniably alive. I hated that part of me almost as much as I craved it. Taking the pictures was agony. Every click of the phone camera made me feel exposed, like someone was watching through the walls. I posed because I had to, because the faceless blackmailer demanded it, but a part of me couldn't deny the thrill. When I hit send, I thought I'd collapse. I expected silence, maybe even mercy. Instead, within minutes, another reply appeared. Good. You're learning. Next time, you'll do more. My mouth went dry. Next time? There would be a next time? From that night on, I lived a double life. By day, I was Daniel, the quiet IT guy, Emma's reliable boyfriend. By night, under pressure and fear, I was reshaped into someone else, feeding the demands of an unseen puppeteer. The suspense gnawed at me constantly. Every time Emma left the apartment, I wondered if I'd be ordered to dress. Every time my phone buzzed, I flinched, expecting another command. And worse, Emma started to notice. Babe, she said one evening as we sat on the couch, you've been distracted lately. Is everything okay at work? I forced a smile. Yeah, just a lot of tickets piling up. You know how it is. She studied me, her eyes narrowing slightly. For a moment I thought she knew, that she'd seen the photos somehow, that the blackmailer had already gone through with their threat. But she just nodded and leaned her head on my shoulder. I wanted to confess. The words burned on my tongue. But fear held me back. Fear of losing her, fear of her disgust, fear of watching everything I'd built collapse. So instead I played along. And the blackmailer tightened their grip. The next demand was harsher. A video. Full makeup, wig, heels. Walking. Smiling. Saying a line they sent me. I love being this way. I almost refused. I almost smashed my phone against the wall. But then I imagined Emma opening her inbox and seeing me in that first dress, and my resolve shattered. That night, I locked the bedroom door and transformed again. The makeup went on smoother now. The wig sat straighter. The heels, though wobbly, carried me with a strange, uneasy grace. As the camera recorded, I forced the words out. I love being this way. When I played it back, I didn't hear Daniel at all. I heard her, the version of me I tried so hard to deny. And that scared me more than the blackmail itself. The blackmailer didn't stop. With every demand, the The strings pulled tighter around my life, and I felt less like myself and more like a puppet dancing on command. First photos, then videos. Soon, they wanted more elaborate looks. Dresses I had never dared to touch, full makeup transformations that took me hours to get right. At first, I stumbled and rushed, terrified Emma would come home early. But gradually, my hands grew steadier, the eyeliner smoother, the heels more natural beneath me. And that terrified me most of all, because it was no longer just the blackmailer shaping me. It was me too. I couldn't deny the rush anymore. The way my chest fluttered when I zipped up a satin dress, the strange relief of watching Daniel's sharp edges soften in the mirror, replaced by someone graceful. I was trapped, but part of me didn't want to be free. The blackmailers seemed to sense it. Their messages grew bolder. You look beautiful. Send more tonight. This time, wear Emma's red dress. The one from her sister's wedding. My hands shook as I typed back, no. She'll notice it's missing. The reply came instantly. Then I'll send her the first photo. I couldn't breathe. Emma's red dress was her favorite, off-limits, untouchable. But fear shoved me past the boundary. That night, I slipped it from its hanger, careful not to disturb the other clothes, careful to remember how it was folded so I could put it back exactly. The fabric clung to me like fire. It was too tight, too revealing. I tottered in her highest heels, my reflection mocking me with its strange beauty. For a moment, I almost cried. Not from shame, but from how right it looked, how wrong it felt to keep denying it. That's when Emma knocked. Danny? You in there?
Panic seized me.
I froze, lipstick still in my hand, my wig slightly askew. The dress hugged me like a prison. Why, yeah, I stammered, my voice cracking. Just working on something. The doorknob rattled. Why's the door locked? My pulse roared in my ears. I shoved the wig off, smeared the lipstick away with the back of my hand, fumbling with the zipper that refused to budge. Give me a second, I croaked, tearing at the fabric like it was strangling me. The zipper caught. The dress wouldn't come off. Emma's voice softened. Danny, is something going on? For a heartbeat, I almost confessed everything. Almost. But fear made me lie. Just not dressed. Hold on. I yanked harder.
The zipper ripped.
The sound echoed like a gunshot. Finally free, I stuffed the ruined dress under the bed, scrubbed at my smeared makeup, and opened the door with what I prayed was a casual smile. Emma's eyes narrowed, scanning my flushed face, the faint traces of eyeliner I hadn't fully erased. You okay? She asked slowly. Yeah, I said too quickly. Just tired. She didn't believe me. I could see it in her eyes. But she didn't push, not yet. That night, lying beside her in the dark, my heart wouldn't slow. The blackmailer's control was suffocating me, but Emma's growing suspicion was worse. The walls of my secret life were closing in, and there was no way out. The next demand was different. More dangerous. You'll go out this time. Full look. Walk down your street. 10 minutes. Record it. I nearly dropped my phone. Out there? In public? I typed back, no. I can't. That's too far. The response was instant. Then Emma gets the photos tonight. Tears stung my eyes. My reflection in the darkened screen looked hollow, broken. But I had no choice. The following night, when Emma left to visit her sister, I transformed again. Wig, heels, dress, makeup. All the trappings of the woman I never meant to be. My legs trembled as I stood at the door, phone in hand, the city outside buzzing with life. The moment I stepped into the hallway, I thought my heart might give out. Every sound was amplified. The click of my heels on the floor, the creak of the elevator, the whisper of passing neighbors. I kept my head down, praying no one would notice, recording shaky footage that would satisfy the blackmailer. But as I walked back toward our door, a voice froze me. Excuse me, miss? I turned. A neighbor, Mr. Harkins, stood with his groceries, squinting at me. My breath caught. Did he recognize me? Did he see Daniel beneath the wig and lipstick? I forced a nod, pitched my voice higher. Sorry. He smiled politely and moved on, but my knees nearly gave out as I stumbled inside, slamming the door shut. When I sent the video, my phone buzzed almost immediately. Perfect. You're starting to belong in that body. I threw the phone across the room. My chest heaved with panic, rage, and something else I couldn't name. Belong. The word echoed inside me like a curse and a temptation. The mask was slipping, and not just the wig. Daniel and the other version of me were colliding, and I didn't know which would survive. The night it all came crashing down began like any other. Emma was out late, the blackmailer's newest demand buzzing on my phone. Full transformation. Video call this time. No excuses. I stared at the message, my throat dry. A video call? It was reckless, impossible. What if they recorded my voice, my movements, my hesitation? But I couldn't risk them sending Emma the photos. My hands shook as I pulled the wig over my head, brushed the curls into place, and slipped into a pale blue dress I'd never worn before. My reflection in the mirror stared back at me, eyes lined, lips painted, shoulders soft beneath the fabric. Every part of me screamed this was wrong, but another voice whispered, "You look perfect." The call came. I answered. A faceless figure, voice distorted. "Turn around. Smile." I obeyed, my heart pounding. "Say it again," the voice ordered. I swallowed hard. I love being this way." The call ended abruptly. Silence filled the room. I wanted to tear everything off, to burn the dress, to rip the wig apart. But then, Danny. Emma's voice. I froze. The front door clicked shut. Footsteps echoed down the hall. Panic surged through me. I darted to the mirror, smudged lipstick with trembling fingers, but the wig clung stubbornly to my head. The heels clicked traitorously on the floor as I stumbled. The bedroom door creaked open. And there she was.
Emma.
Her eyes widened, her mouth parting as she took in the sight of me, dressed head to toe, makeup half-smeared, phone still glowing with the last trace of the video call. For a heartbeat, the world stopped. "Danny," she whispered, her voice unreadable. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My chest ached as if it might collapse under the weight of her gaze. Then her eyes shifted, toward the phone on the bed. The screen lit up with a new message. From the blackmailer. "Time's almost up. Tell her the truth, or I will." Emma's eyes narrowed. "What's going on?" I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. The wig slipped slightly, tilting to the side, exposing the harsh line of my real hair beneath. A symbol of everything tearing apart. My secret, my relationship, my life. "Danny," Emma repeated, more firmly now. "Tell me. Right now." And in that moment, standing in the middle of the room, half Daniel, half the woman I had become, I realized I was out of time. The choice was gone.